Frank, bring us in.
We got for episode 61. She should have been on here like season 1, season 2. We are now in season 3. It's cool. We got Kezia Hendricks, CEO, founder of the Young Investors Group, nonprofit organization, coming through to bless us. We're going to talk about investing. We're going to talk about her organization. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff. Community. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for joining us. Very first question we always ask every time. What was your figuring shit out moment? Anything in your life that changed your life, you started moving different, thinking different, and just you was a different person. What you got?
So for me, it was when I took my sociology class. I went to Tidewater Community College, and it really woke me. Like, I had an amazing professor, Professor Gina. I think she's in Arizona right now. And she just woke me, and it just made me think about economics and, where we are in our society, in regards to being melanated people. So, yeah, it was a sociology class.
What about the class?
It's just the things that she talked about, the perspective of the power that we have as just being melanated people. I didn't realize how amazing we were, just naturally coming from Texas. In Texas, there's a huge complex for light skin versus dark skin. And so we don't even call it light skin, dark skin. We call it bright girl. Like, that girl, she bright, she real, as in smart, right?
Right.
And so I learned that we are really smart people. We are amazing people. And prior to colonialism, we did and are have done and are doing amazing things.
Right. Let me ask you, how old were you when you took that sociology class? Was you like?
I was 30.
Oh, okay.
31.
Yeah, because I was about like 25, 26 when I came to realization about power, and the power of the mind. And basically, you know what I'm saying, no matter what's happening on the external, no matter what forces may be against you, like you can make a choice and just do whatever the fuck you want. A lot of people don't know.
Is that what sociology is?
No, sociology is the study of people and cultures.
Right.
Like, so like psychology is the study of like an individual mind. Sociology is groupthink. And it really made me interesting because, like, now I like to study generations of young people, like how they move and how they think as a group, even though everything is individualized.
True. Oh, we about to
That
get
kind of that perspective reminds me of like when I first read a W.E. Du Bois book and how he was just talking about the people in the whole as their contemporaries, as his peers, but he was talking from a mind that wasn't a part of it. Like he just couldn't relate, but he was just saying that, like, he was talking about people his same age, right, or younger, as if they were a whole different, you know what I mean? So
I got another question. I got a question. Next question. Oh, because I want to hit YG. I want to spend as much time as we can on YG.
Okay.
What was what's the word I'm looking for? I'm trying to be wordy. What was the catalyst for the start of YIG, the Young Investors Group?
Well, it's actually multiple things that happen in my life. So I think anytime that God gives you purpose in doing something, it's not just like one event. It's like a puzzle piece, and pieces just come together. So we look at Young Investors as a whole. We'll start off with the fact that at 13, I saw my brother taken away. At 14 years old and serving 15 years in prison. So I was 13. I was like, when I grow up, I'm because I already knew at that point statistics as far as like just looking around in my community that when Black men get out of prison, that they don't have as many opportunities, especially in Texas, because it's a huge Hispanic population. And so to divide and conquer, what the powers that be did is give all the Hispanic people all of the job opportunities. So it created a division within the community. Like, so those those cultures wouldn't come together. And of course, the Hispanic culture would feel superior over the African American culture. And so knowing that, I was like, when I grow up, I'm gonna do something big. So when my big brother get out, I'm already have things laid out, right? So that was the start. I worked at a nonprofit childcare facility. My first job, pretty much. And I understood how the nonprofit world worked. I had an amazing mentor, Muriel Webb, in Dallas, Texas, in South Dallas, Texas. She just showed me how to speak the language of the money. Like she was, I mean, before computer labs were a thing in the hood, right? Like she took grants and like made a skating rink in the hood and a computer lab, which is a big thing in our area at the time. So I learned that language from her. And then when I moved to Virginia by marriage, I saw some of the same things when I got into the financial industry, which, I got into the financial industry through volunteer work, working for the Navy Marine Corps Relief Society. And so that piece of the puzzle was placed, right? That financial piece. And I'm like, oh man, like, is this what the world is about? Right. Then I started working for a financial institution, which I will remain nameless. I don't want no drama, even though I got love for them. People be hating on them. They allowed me. The manager that I had was so amazing. The culture of that company, regardless of what people say about them, they made sure that we did community work. So they would pay us like 16 hours, 8 to 16 hours to go into the community. And I'm like, oh, I know what I want to do. So I went to juvenile detention centers. And when I went into the juvenile detention centers, it was triggering for me, because obviously I'm like, this is where my brother was. I didn't even know what it looked like, right, inside of a place like that. So I connected with the juvenile detention centers because it was like a soft place in my heart because of my sibling, right? And then when the guy at the juvenile detention center was like, oh, 85% of them come from one neighborhood. I was like, huh?
One neighborhood.
Say what?
Right.
How is that possible? Right. So I was like, bet. So I had an opportunity to do a missions trip. Got a lot of people that do charity. They go overseas. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But it's a missions trip right down the street from your house.
Yeah.
So I relocated. I sold things. I got rid of things, and I relocated temporarily into that neighborhood where majority of those young people were, and I built a relationship with them. And then the biggest triggering thing was probably after about 3 or 4 weeks, I found that they started really disappearing, right? And I'm gonna backtrack for a second. At the end of the day, when I started doing programming in the neighborhood, I knew that I didn't want to just go in and do a back to school drive or go in and do a cookout and then leave, right? Backpacks, turkeys, doing Thanksgiving, bikes, Christmas. I know I didn't want to do that because when I lived in public housing, I used to hate that. I'm like, where's the real help? Like, I mean, not that it wasn't real help, but they would just like drop stuff off and bounce. And so when I relocated into that neighborhood, it was my goal to build relationships with the families, build relationships with the kids. I mean, I'm taking trash out. I'm breaking up fights. Cops over there sitting in the corner just watching them fight. Parents just letting them watch because that's the culture, right?
Right.
And I'm breaking up fights and everything, you know what I'm saying? Because like I'm building relationships. So the biggest triggering thing for me, which I would say would be the catalyst for Young Investors Group, was when they started disappearing. Like, oh, what happened to so and so? Oh, he on house arrest. Oh, what happened to so and so? Oh, he got a charge. Oh, what happened to so and so? Oh, he locked up. Which I already knew that was happening, but it was hard to believe real time when you started connecting with the kids, right?
Yeah.
So, working with your boy Arthur, you know what I'm saying? In the early 2015s when we did the computer, I was inspired by Novel Views. Turn up. And, just fast forwarding to the moment when they started disappearing, we started just going into court with them. Now, mind you, at this point, they had sold a house like we did, because my background is in finance, mortgage underwriting, loan officer, all of that. I had them young men selling houses. You heard me? They went and they showed the customers the house. They learned the layout of the house. They did a 2-week training on how houses are assets. And these are young people that are in public housing. And I know for me, I never understood mortgages. I never understood that I could own a house. But these young people now who've been in generations, their family have been in public housing for generations, are now getting exposed to real estate.
No, that's huge. You are doing amazing work out there. You're going out there. Like it's crazy how you mentioned, like, instead of just showing up and bouncing, you moved in the community and you're a staple, and you're like making change from within. You know what I'm saying? And I gotta commend you for that because that's fucking huge. Not a lot of people have a heart for that. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
So what do you say to the people? So do you say to people who's like, man, you should probably get right and get up out of here, right? This ain't no place to grow. This ain't no place that's conducive to growth, right? Or love or compassion or all those good things that the world needs, right? So
you
what you
mean
say
like
to them?
in that situation? Because I was temporarily there. I didn't stay there for a long
Right.
period of time. But in my perspective, it is because it's controlled by other people. You never want the rug snatched from under you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it's important that when people are living in those situations, that they look at it as temporary. Right? It's no different than going to college for 4 years. It's just when you move into projects for you, that's a different type of 4 years. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I don't think that anybody should be in those type of situations past 4 years, to be honest with you. I think 4 years, if you are on the right track, maybe 6 years, that you should live in that place for 46 years and have a strategic plan. So those are my thoughts, because they only create, for some neighborhoods, they only create those environments because they get federal funding for poverty and high crime. If a city has no poverty and high crime, there's a certain level of grant money, state money, federal money that they don't get, as well as they don't get the depreciation of the land that's needed for capitalists.
That's huge. So back to what King was saying. So, because I'm from the projects, I live there damn near. Now I'm gonna say half my life. I'm old as fuck right now.
I didn't know it, right?
First 15 years or so of my life, I'm from the dirt, and I know what it feels like to be there. But I guess for me, it was a certain time where it was all I knew, so I didn't know anything else.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I didn't know New York was it for me. I didn't travel anywhere. I haven't seen anything else. You could have asked me, and I would have told you the whole planet is like the way that I'm living. So,
okay.
How do you inspire somebody or to have a different perspective of a lifestyle? They could change their environment just by doing X, Y, and Z, and then show them that there's a better way to live, not in poverty, not in constant negativity, and all that stuff. Like, how do you get in there and inspire people to want that?
So the first step, and I think I understand your question to be, how do you see someone in that position and then help them transform into wanting better for themselves?
Right.
Okay. So
it is now 2023, going on 2024. Why don't you have a VPN? Only for a limited time. Go to piavpn.com/cyberbunny. You could get 83% off the PIA VPN. What is a VPN? VPN is basically software that's used to hide an end user information such as IP address, location, private data they may be transferring over the internet, identifiable information such as their devices they're using from being spied on, from hackers, governments, internet service providers, anybody out there who wants to steal your data for their own personal gain. That's basically what a VPN does. If you want to take advantage of this discount, go to piavpn.com/cyberbunny. Go there now, sign up, tell them I sent you, get your software, get it installed on your laptops, on your mobile phones, on your tablets, any device that connects to the internet, get it installed on there. Get protected, go now.
I need you to send my check in the mail, because this is going to be the code. The first, the first, make that donation to younginvestorsgroup.org.
Let's go.
So I would say the first step is to assess and identify what they feel is important. A lot of times we know better, and you can't know better than the person that knows better, right? So what I do is I go and I assess the situation and identify what they feel is important, what they feel that is a priority. Then you expose them to opportunities, because one of the things that I learned is, like, people don't like to listen to you when you don't have a relationship, and that's anybody, right? You can't just walk up to somebody and be like, you need to do this and you need to do that. Absolutely not. You go in, you identify what's important to them, you spend time with them, and then little by little you expose them to different opportunities. And then you literally do you map it out. You map it out for them and say, hey, this is the pathway. So those are the things that that I feel like that works. And I think a lot, like I said, a lot of people, you got to study people. You can't just tell them what you think they need. So the saying is nothing about us without us, right? So you can't like tell me about myself without, you know what I mean? Without even learning what's happening.
So that's dope. So using that technique, right? Using that tactic, have you seen it working? Like, have you seen the spark in them? Like, actual change? Like they're like, yo, there's more out there for me. Can you speak on some of the successes from YIG?
Absolutely. So to answer your question, a lot of the young people that we have dealt with specifically in those type situations, some of them have been like conditioned and scarred. And what I can say, we have a couple of different scenarios. We've had young people that have been exposed to what we share with them, and they just be like, "Oh, nah, I'm more valuable than that." I remember one time we was like, "How much you worth? Like, what's the value of you? Like, how much are you worth?" And that was when we did, we were at the middle school and we had somebody from New York Life come in, and I asked them how much they worth. They're like, "Oh, $100. $200, $500." And the person from New York Life, like, was a financial advisor. So, obviously he specialized in wealth management and net worth. And so we taught them about net worth, right? And when we taught them about net worth, after that, they were like, "Oh no, I'm worth more than $500. Like, I'm worth millions of dollars." And it's a different energy when you know that you are worth more than what you thought you were worth. That was one great and amazing opportunity. We've had young people that are gone through the criminal justice system. We had a young man that was facing 20 charges, right? He hooked up with a girl. She was 18, hooked up with her. She convinced him to do some stuff, take some stuff from her mama house and do this and do that. And end up getting adult charges at 16, right? Through the work that we've done is we showed that he wasn't thinking like an adult. He was thinking like a underage person who was influenced by an adult. We also show the work that he had done in the community, and he had an opportunity to, instead of getting 6 to 8 years in adult prison, he served 2 years in juvenile and had an opportunity to be rehabilitated from that standpoint. And I think that when we have young people, like a lot of young people specifically in their neighborhood, they had somebody they had a prosecutor. We call him a Commonwealth attorney in Virginia, but he had a prosecutor that they were their career was based off of how many felonies they gave out for juveniles, in which they hold a high position now in the state of Virginia, but they did that off the backs of our 11 and 12-year-old young men that were getting felonies from fist fights, right? So and getting them classified as gang members. So, like, how they say your juvenile record, you can get that, expunged. Well, if you're classified as a gang member, it does not.
That's trifling.
So you can be 11 years old and they classify you, and that stays on your record for the rest of your life at 11. So this individual, this prosecutor, was literally targeting them. And so what happens is when they get that age and they start catching felonies at 11 and 12 years old, it really does something to their mind on who they think they are. And so by the time we get to them, because they target them so young, they've already been conditioned. But one of the things that I could tell you to your question is that them being exposed to Young Investors Group after they've had their first or second felony, or if they get locked up, when they go in, been exposed to Young Investors Group, when they come out, they have a different perspective than what they would have had if they had never been exposed. Because at that point, they like, "Oh, this is what I'm missing. I'm missing out on the opportunity to do A, B, C, or D." So we found that to be, even though, like, say they still get locked up, they at least go in with a mindset that, like, yo, this compared to being locked down is a no-go. We've had young people that have started businesses. One of the young people, he said himself, he was like, if it wasn't for Young Investors Group, like, I wouldn't be in college right now. Like,
that's fire.
He was on some robbery stuff, you know what I'm saying? Jacking dudes. Like, he like, nah, because people oftentimes don't understand that when the value of how someone feels how valuable they are, and they don't understand what their potential is from a financial standpoint. Like, we just talking about numbers. on what they can bring to the table, their mindset shifts once they realize who they are and what they're capable.
This is deep topic. So it's like, because I'm solutions based. We try to figure shit out, right? So when we talk about problems, for me, it's not so much treating symptoms, it's trying to find the core cause, right? And then maybe dig a little bit on that. What do you think? What would you say is the main cause of these problematic areas in America?
Absolutely. So number one, I think that there's 3 for this generation. And I'll need to check in the mail for this one.
It's gonna be mad residuals coming through. Okay.
you heard me. Okay. So there's 3 areas that young people usually fall in. Number one, the highest criminal activity right now is robbery or theft.
Right.
That's the easiest way for them to get incarcerated. The second way is violence, even though people probably think it's different. As the impact of COVID comes, it's probably going to be higher on the violent side because there's a lot of aggression and mental health challenges with young people. But right now, as it stands, it's robbery and theft. And so there's 3 different types of kids when they get in trouble. Now, not to say that one kid can do all 3, but if we were to classify and categorize the driving force, then one of the things would be the desire to be included and significant. Like when it comes to kids that join gangs, a lot of them used to play sports and football. And if you think about it, like when I did, based on my research, I would interview them and they would be like, they would always say up until like 5th grade or 6th grade, they would be playing sports, they'd be playing football. And then after that, maybe they lost a person, they lost support, they realized they wasn't that good. And they yearn for that camaraderie. They yearn for all of the girls. They yearn for the parents coming and supporting them because they feel like that they're going to make it to the big leagues. When it does not happen, where else can you get that fulfillment? Gangs. You really can't get it nowhere else. You see what I'm saying? Once depending on what you're exposed to, right? So that would be one. Wanting to be significant. Some kids are influenced by being included in things and feeling special. The second thing is the classical story of the impoverished child, the one that like don't have food, so gotta steal it, don't have what they need, so they owe somebody something, like they owe somebody in the community because they looked out for them in the wintertime when they were sleeping on the street because their mama, smoking crack or out doing whatever. Not crack, so I don't really think they do that no more as much. But I don't know. It is what it is.
This is probably new shit out there.
But the kids that are neglected, right? And they have to survive. They're on survival mode. And then you have the thrill seekers. The thrill seekers are the ones that they just be bored. And some of those kids are kids that are not even impoverished, right? Their parents give them what they want, but sometimes they are dealing with things that they need to distract themselves from, like emotional challenges or feeling whatever the way that they're feeling. So they go out and just do crazy stuff. Like, I'm bored, so I'm just gonna go break in this car,
somebody,
like, if I can do
break into the store.
Right. Yeah, or I'm bad. They want to be popular so they can feel significant. Maybe they're not getting attention at home or whatever the situation may be. They're thrill seekers and they're impulsive. You have a lot of young people that social media and tech has a lot to do with that. They're very impulsive. And then, certain disabilities don't allow them to have empathy or allow them to think clearly. And I think that some people just think you can talk to kids, and you cannot do that. You can't be speaking to them and talking to them. So I would say identifying. I'm always going to say do the research first. So identify what class that this kid is in, or if they're in multiple of those classes that I just named. The second thing is, after you do that, I feel like that depending on the locality. So like Norfolk has more mature young people when it comes to the impoverished areas. They, not to say the kids are any worse or anything like that. They just deal with a lot more oppression and a lot more responsibility at a younger age. So you could have a 12-year-old in Virginia Beach and then have a 12-year-old in Norfolk, and the Norfolk kid is going to be like a 16-year-old.
Yeah,
you know
ready
what
to
I'm
work.
saying? Yeah, like they already got a job and everything, you know what I mean? So I think that's the difference. And with that being said, one of the solutions is get them at a younger age and then create a village. What I noticed, because I study other cultures, what I notice in other cultures, that they surround their young people around other groups of people. So you got like adults in that child life. And as a community, specifically the melanated community, people that know better, they oftentimes move away. And they don't, the kids don't get a chance to see that lifestyle, what it's like to respect your parents, what it looks like to do all of that or whatever. And I think that like they need groups of people around them, meaning that like mentors. I remember when I got into mentoring, it was mostly men, because obviously the program is, we normally serve young men because of the incarceration rates. And they were more so, it wasn't very welcoming, and it was just all about men mentoring boys. But what we found is that girls do better with women, all women mentors, but boys do even better with both male and female mentors. So I would say that's another solution versus just having men as mentors for young men. I think that you need both. You need that equal balance. I feel like that boys need that gentle part, and then they need to see the balance. So I think that's a solution to a lot of the issues, because everything is off balance.
No, I agree. I agree. Same thing with the nuclear family, right? Because like the nuclear family, how, and we talk about this all the time, how like with the war between men and women and social media and just media just pitting each other, you know, the gender war. And it's like everybody's looking for something for themselves. It's like, what can you do for me, as opposed to how can I, as whatever gender I am, you know, serve you? And so you have that separation of male, female, break up with the nuclear family, you know, broken homes and all that. And I think that adds to that.
And she also said it was like, get them young, right? So it may be CJ Fuller or it may be Claude Anderson, one of the two. And they was like, show me a boy at 7, I'll show you a man at 21. You know what I'm talking about? I said that shit so much in my house that I mean it. You know what I'm talking about? So that, I know that's important, right? Because I got plenty of cousins, you know what I mean, nieces, nephews, you know what I mean, that just probably ain't gonna see the right path. And it ain't and it's a whole lot of environmental, right?
Absolutely.
And a whole lot of who raising them type. So
and I mean, nature versus
nurture.
And nature versus nurture, because honestly, there's some things from the womb, you know, that creates impulses that makes life challenging. And then to your point, Arthur, like I think the age 9 for boys, the age, well, I guess for all ages, that age between like 8 and 12 determines what the teenage life is gonna be like. So whatever they're exposed to, because what happens is they see things at 8, 9, 10, and 11, and they like, oh, when I get bigger, I'm gonna do that. So whatever, it's really, really important to like watch what's been exposed between those ages, because that's gonna dictate what choices that they make when they become teenagers, which then dictate choices that they make when they become adults.
No, that's facts. What about environmental? So like music and media, right? So like I grew up in the 80s, 90s, you know, in New York. I listened to trash music as a young person. Sometimes I go back and I'll listen to the stuff I was listening at the time. And me as an adult now, right? I'm much older, I'm wiser, obviously. I'll listen, and my wife too. We listen, we're just like, what the fuck were we listening to? You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, the Violator albums, like all about drugs and killing and all this stuff. And it's like, this is what we sung. This is what we we look at these individuals, we aspire to be like them, and it's like it's a psyche, it's a poison that's just pumped in the community, pumped into
serial killer music is what I saw on Instagram.
Right. And it's almost like, and it's like, I don't know, like I was listening to it, you know what I'm saying? Our kids now listening to it. And I feel like the music's worse over the generations. I feel like it's still bad back then, but even what they listen to now, like fucking, what's it? Sexy Red, whatever, what is, I don't know.
Oh Lord.
With the good coochie.
Yes. It's like,
oh Lord.
How is it that is pushed into the youth's mind, their psyche? They listen to it, they praise it, they applaud it, and it's like, where, and we just stand, for the most part, we standing by watching it happen. Like, yeah, they're singing fucking Pound Town, and it's trash. We all know it is, but it's like we're watching.
It's worse when the mama dancing to it, dog. What you want me to do?
Well, so I mean, here's the deal. At the end of the day, our music was not any wholesome than their music in the same way. But here's the difference. The difference is we had other things that influence our thinking. They only have one thing, and that's the device. They see it, they hear it, they wake up. There was at least a filter in between watching TV and not watching TV. This is 100% access all the time. That's the reason why it's not the music that's worse. It's the conditions around, it's how it's being fed, right? Just like you could eat, I ain't gonna say junk food, but you can eat food like a person trying to lose weight. It's the amount of times that they're eating. It's the, it's some of what they eat, but it's also if you ate the same thing you could eat one hamburger, right? You can eat 5 hamburgers or eat one hamburger 5 times. And I think what's happening is they're eating 5 hamburgers back to back to back to back to back to back. There's no break in between. There's no small increments. They're just eating 5 hamburgers every day, 7 days a week, 20 hours a day.
Are you looking for a media agency that covers all the creative tasks that make a business successful? Lucid Perspective produces elegant, high-resolution graphics and logos, high-definition and 4K video, complete with treatment concepts and innovative editing. Lucid Perspective provides photography services such as fashion, advertisements, product or service, and aerial photography. We also help businesses build their brands from the ground up with complete campaigns that will make your business attractive to your target audience. We can bring your brand to the masses with our effective and strategic marketing campaigns to include sales funnels, eye-catching advertisements, breakthrough digital marketing through social media, and other digital avenues. Visit lucidperspective.com today.
It's like a marriage between a shitty environment, right? I'm already low. I'm feeling bad. I ain't gonna see no way. And here come this low ass, equally evil. Yeah. It's like hitting a homophone on the goddamn prism and fucking watching your ass shatter. And they can come and scoop the pieces up for free. That shit crazy.
And I guess we can look at the industry too, right? Because like we can't be oblivious, or we can't act as if there's not a machine behind this, right? We know the music industry, they push these artists to the forefront. They promote them. They put millions of dollars in advertising and promo. I'm on Facebook, right? Handpicked, yes, obviously they are definitely handpicked, but I'm on Facebook and I'm scrolling, right? I am not an Ice Spice fan at all. The only thing I relate to her with is we're both from the Bronx. That's literally it. But every now and then I'm on my Facebook and I'm scrolling and I see random just pages. I don't know if they're promo or I'm not following them. It's just they're just talking about Ice Spice. And I'm like, I don't even listen to this chick's music. I don't like anything about her. Why is Ice Spice all on my fucking feed? You know what I'm saying? I click the X and I exit out and I tell Facebook I don't want to see it. And it keeps coming back.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
it's like this bitch name.
Right. And now it's Sexy Red. You know what I'm saying? That's the new one. So there is a push. And my thing is like, okay, as powerful as they are with the media and the money, why is it that for the most part we're not smart enough to say no to it, or at least the young people to tell, so they can see what it is poison and be like, don't listen to it. And
shit rock, boy.
You know what I'm saying?
That shit hit.
So
that shit hit.
Flacs,
I don't know.
I'm sorry to tell you that it's sweet poison. It's sweet poison. And at the end of the day, with someone with no self-control, with a half-developed brain, meaning that their brain hasn't fully developed, they're not going to have the self-control to stop listening to it, right?
I did. I don't listen to this. I mean, but
no,
I'm much
but
older. Yeah,
when you were a kid, you listen to it. It don't matter. You rock with it. So what I'm telling you is you don't listen to it now. But when you were a kid, you listen to it. It's the same message from back in the day. Suki with the good coochie, Sexy Red, they're all saying the same thing that was said by a man. Okay, because now the script has flipped. And now all of the things that men were talking about, women are now talking about in the same way. So it's really not a difference for real. The only difference is the how they are consuming the information and how often they're consuming the information. There is no barrier. There's no parent that's a barrier because the parents can't even really control. Let me tell you, I had a child of mine who I took her from. Her homegirls got her a new one.
Wow, that's dedication.
That's the culture, though. But that's the culture.
I took her. So this is, and well, this is the 25-year-olds, right? I took her social media. She said, "Bet it's more fun being on my homegirl page." She basically on her homegirl page posting and everything else if it was hers, because I can't control her homegirl page. So even when I hear people, the parents need to.
I'm a parent person.
After a certain, unless you are in cybersecurity,
let's go,
and you have locked down every data port.
There's ways to do it in a house. Yes, a local network.
Look at him, he knows.
But then guess what they do? Get a whole data box. You hear me? Get a hotspot. You hear me? So what I'm saying is that
get a Faraday cage in this bitch. You ain't getting out nowhere. Put a Faraday cage on the roof. No wireless signals. But no, I feel you.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody, it is very few of us in the tech field. So, half the parents not gonna be able to do what you
probably. So what you saying? Are you saying it's a hopeless? Like let's not focus on the music and the entertainment.
No, let me tell you what we need to do.
Okay.
We need to do exactly what they do. And when I say they, I mean the powers that be. And we need to use what we got to get what we want. And that means if I got to use Suki with the good coochie to make a point, I'm going to use it. I'm going to be strategic with it. If I got to use Sexy Red to make a point,
finesse 2 times.
That's what I'm going to do.
Finesse 2 times.
Okay.
He rock around. So that's the ploy. That's the marketing ploy, right? Like put the medicine in the candy, right? So the shit do not, but know what would be crazy? If Suki got on somebody's stage and started talking about financial literacy, it'd blow their motherfucking face off. She can shake her ass all day. Just so that's the dude. So Finesse, he YouTube podcast or whatever. He went to jail for finessing, for scamming. He come home, don't scam no more, but he still walking around with that same persona. You know what I mean? Same pimp walk. You know what I mean? Flashy talk, but it's telling people how to get money, but it's using the medicine, putting the medicine in the candy. Like,
so you can't beat.
I get it. Nah, but you gotta stay creative.
You using them just like they use. I mean, come on, Hennessy do a real good job of taking our money.
Ain't it though? And they ain't never gave you back nothing.
Shit.
They couldn't even give away.
So they talk about a solution. That's the solution. We got to use what we got to give what we want. We know what they're attracted to. And that's the thing. A lot of people that try to do youth programs, they always be on some, we going to have somebody come out and speak to them. Like, I tell them now, don't say nothing to these. They don't want to hear you talk.
Can't hear you, dog.
They don't want to hear you talk. You better be teaching them something. You better give them some code, what they can do to go make money right now. That's what they want to hear.
That's my gig. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Even adults don't even want to hear people talk. So kids definitely don't want to hear people talk.
Adults don't even want to hear nobody give them opportunity because they don't know not everybody know what the opportunity. That's another thing too. Young investors teach these kids to know what the opportunity look like, right? Because they have no clue, right? Opportunity sit right in their face. like you say, a person with all the opportunity in the world can come talk to them, but if he provide the opportunities, he's painting the opportunity for them to see what it look like.
Yeah.
It's I don't know, man. It's crazy. And
yeah.
Even when I be doing the computer stuff with the kids and stuff, like I'm showing you how to get on the computer and be comfortable with it, but then like I don't know, it's so much to do, but you got to show them what opportunity look like.
Yep.
Beforehand.
That's definitely the answer.
How you plan on providing these opportunities, right? So, young investors, what are you doing? Like, so what are the activities you're doing? What are some of the places you're going to? Like, what are some of the avenues that you're getting this message across? That hey, dog, you ain't got to do this. I'd have been there. We'd have been there. It ain't for you. And if you go there, it's still there for you. It's gonna be just like this when you get there. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I mean, some of the things that we offering now. So we have our partnership with Meta. Shout out to Meta, aka Facebook, Instagram, teaching the young people about social media marketing and getting them certified in that, so they'll have a skill under their belt. So I always do this thing. I teach them about. I share with them that they are a vending machine, and the more skills that they have, just like the more products a vending machine has, they are able to make more money. The second thing is, at the end of the day, I identify what the young people want. So I pretty much do kind of like a focus group and identify what they find that's important, what they are interested in, and then I use that to get them to the table, because you can't do a program with anybody if nobody's in the room. So I identify what's important to them, and then I bring them to the table. So some of the things that we do, we have stipends. Like our young people, they get stipends, and so they're able to use the money for their immediate gratifications. We do pander to their immediate gratification. So we have like what we call our snack auctions, so that they get money every single time that they are engaged and understand the process. And then at the end, they can get immediate. And so immediate gratification isn't necessarily the most positive attribute to have, but we definitely use it. Definitely. And you know, Arthur, because you was there when I started that, right?
Right.
But you know, we do things like to draw them in, and then we teach them skills, and then we make them feel accomplished. We make them feel like they are working towards something. And I think that you know, the feeling of accomplishment can't be taken away, you know, once you show them that they're capable.
Hi, I'm King Arthur, founder of Novel Views Tech, where we prepare children aged 10 to 17 for a future shaped by advanced technology. Our curriculum dives into fields like robotics, nanotechnology, quantum computing, and more. But what really brings learning to life are our bi-monthly, Exploring the Future of Technology webinars, hosted by industry experts. These webinars aren't just lectures, they're interactive discussions that connect your child to the pulse of the tech world, creating a learning experience that goes beyond the classroom. We offer a money-back guarantee to ensure you're completely satisfied. Equip your child with the skills to not just adapt, but to innovate and lead in the future. Join us at Novel Views Tech, and let's build their future today.
Where do you see YIG in 5 years? Like, what's your ultimate perfect world goal with Young Investors Group?
So I would love to, because Young Investors Group, we teach fintech, which is finance and technology. I would love to see two things happen. I really want to open up a tech center, a finance center for young people to come and be able to expose to have a place, because we know we got a little studio now, but you know, love to see that grow. The other thing that I would like to see is our young people more. I would like to, my goal is 100 young people within the next 3 to 5 years that are able to take the information that we have and increase their entry level earning power. So 3 to 5 years.
That's easy money.
Yeah. 3 to 5 years, because we work with the middle and rising middle and middle schoolers, which is like 5th grade in the state of Virginia, you know, to high school. So I would love to see that. And then the third thing that I would like to see is us in multiple states. Now, we've touched multiple states during the pandemic, but I really want to revamp and really connect. Because I'm getting so much. When I went to Georgia to Investfest, people were like, "What? You know, can you?
Yeah.
We
can
gotta
you
talk
come
about
here?" I had a group today that's like, "Can you come?" to DC?" And we're like, we need the funding.
that. Yeah, we try working. Yeah, talk about Investfest. How was that? What was the goal there? How did it turn out?
Wow. Okay,
I seen
so
some clips. It looked dope.
yeah, shout out to Young Investors Group Board, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Make sure I was flying first class, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's
like
dope.
the VIP that I am.
Let's go.
But
The
yeah,
Lord's word.
yes. So there was a lot happening at Investfest. It was overwhelming. It's definitely one of those situations where
20,000 people.
it needed to be more than one day. I'm glad. Like the
Mm.
first day I went to the marketplace, which was totally lit. Those displays, I don't know if y'all saw them, but the displays at Investfest was like crazy. I mean, they built whole studio sets as a vending space.
Wow. No,
So
that's
they
crazy.
had a whole real game show as a vending space. I got a massage. Okay. It was amazing.
That's dope. That's dope. I'm gonna go next. I want to go next year.
Yes.
No, that'd be dope.
So the marketplace was amazing. It was very, very high energy. The other thing, so day 2 was like all of the, you know, speakers and things like that. My favorite part was the AI and tech talk, which the cool thing was it was on a smaller stage, so it was so much more intimate. And I learned that they had AI curated meat. And
AI curated meat.
yeah, and the FDA
Yeah.
approved it, by the way.
All right.
So it's time to
That's a
release, guys. That's the
Did you
first
taste
time.
it? Did you try
that's a
some?
conspiracy
No,
show,
it
bro.
wasn't there. They just talked about it.
Oh, yeah, definitely
I
conspiracy.
think it's
I
in
won't
the
touch
UK
that.
now. They approved it in the UK. The other thing was that, you know, they talk a lot about the blockchain and how, you know, government is considering to putting government assistance on the blockchain, you know, such as food stamps and
if you don't
another
use it, you'll
conspiracy.
lose it.
There's another conspiracy.
Yeah.
We got all the conspiracy topics. But I want to touch on something that you said that was dope. I thought was dope when you said you wanted to get 100 people in the next 3 to 5 years into entry level in tech. I think that's huge. I think that's dope.
They increased the entry level. Yeah, earning power.
You said well, I can attest, and King too. Tech isn't going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? No matter how you feel about it, yes, it can be used to control, but it also can be used to be freeing. Tech, the industry is not going anywhere. And a lot of the starting salaries for certain things are astronomical. You know what I'm saying? I can speak to that. So I definitely want to be down with that because I think I could provide support and you know resources to that effort. That's huge. You say you want a tech center, right? Wait, in the 7 cities in Norfolk, and where you trying to plans, or
you know, it really depends on who
I'm trying to manifest.
Yeah, right. It really depends on who respect our culture, because I'm just learning a lot about the different cities and what's needed ultimately, because the city of Norfolk has the highest rate of incarcerating youth in the entire state. So ultimately creating that opportunity in Norfolk, considering, you know, a lot of the young people have the challenges. I would consider Norfolk first, but you know, I'm only gonna love a city that loves me. And so I don't go anywhere begging for an opportunity. And so perfect world scenario would be, you know, Norfolk, considering the rate of youth in that situation. And yeah, I would love to see, you know, in a space where it's accessible, you know, to, you know, everybody.
That's huge.
And, you know,
go ahead, Kate.
Now, isn't it strange how you could say a statistic like that, but then they are literally refusing help or solutions or trying to do anything to change the situation, circumstances?
It's intentional.
Right? I just think it's kind of
who is refusing?
The city of Norfolk with the intentionally high crime rate for the youth.
No, I don't think they're refusing. I think that they are choosing who they want to be a part of that movement. They're controlling that. I think that it's not equity. I remember we applied for a grant, right? And we're about almost 5 years old, And when I looked at the recipients of a grant that was supposed to help with poverty or crime prevention, a lot of those organizations had just been developed, within months or maybe a year or so. You know what I mean? And so it was probably, I felt, this is not a fact, right? I felt like these were just people that were friends, you know what I mean, of
politics,
people that made the decisions. And so they got the opportunities from relationships. So
I bet. I mean, the network. That's why networking is important too. It's who you know.
That's sad. That's so sick. That's so sad.
Well, because they ain't doing no good, and they over there reaching out to me talking about, do you got some young people? Like, huh?
Wait, what about you said?
Grant? No, some of the people that got the grant didn't even have the young people that
they asked for you to provide.
They asked me like, hey, you got some young people to come to our event? I'm like, no.
Wow.
It's a no day, because I'm like, you're not out doing what you're supposed to be doing. You take that money and go do some marketing is what you need to do. Don't come over asking me after I done slaved on these streets to get.
That's another thing too. They provide grants to a blue ocean, but they ain't providing to a boat in that ocean. Right, like they fishing from the pier. They're not even trying to do nothing to it. But they know it's a blue ocean. They know it's a lot of money there. They know it's a lot of opportunities there for them to line their pockets. But ain't nobody trying to do no change, no work. And when they'll get YG, no money to go goddamn sit up in the jails and hit them boys as they coming off the street. This is what we're gonna do. As they come off the street, this is what we're gonna do. And you going home. And we gonna do these things. And you ain't gotta come back in here no more.
Yeah.
They only just providing the option to people is a real feasible thing, but
and I think collaborations are important too. I think we as people don't do that enough. But that's a whole nother conversation for a whole
Unify
nother day.
Thrive.
Yeah.
You've been saying it for 2 years. You've been saying it for longer than that. It's been your thing. It's been the thing.
Yeah.
So let's see. Let's do this. We talked about where you want to be in 5 years with the goal for YG. What is something? Oh, this is your question, King. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You failed your mojo. Go ahead.
I know. Okay. I'll steal your question. What is something you're trying to figure out right now?
Yeah, I know you're supposed to give me these questions before, right? What am I trying to figure out right now?
How to get this flyer? I'm gonna work on that flyer. I promise.
That part.
The flyer for the karaoke.
I would honestly say probably two things. One of the things I'm trying to figure out is how to get more people that could have an influence on the young people to really understand what it takes and to make that commitment. I see a lot of people. I think one of y'all said that everybody's kind of selfish. They're like, oh, me and mine. Me and mine, good, and that's all they care about is them and theirs. That would be one thing or for people to really understand how policy works and how it impacts you directly, even if your kid isn't a troubled youth. Like your kid is not a troubled youth, but the troubled youth, they hit bystanders, innocent bystanders. You know what I'm saying? Right. So you may want to make the investment right now. Like I tell the college kids, like, I'm absolutely sure that you should mentor, because ultimately these kids that are in middle school are your employees.
Right. Big facts. Well, that's major.
So while you over here only worrying about yourself, telling me what you're going to build, it's going to be kind of hard to build with no employees for real, or like a workforce. So train your workforce while you're in college. You see what I'm saying? Because you're going to college for a reason. So those are the things that just trying to get people to be invested in working with you young people the way that the Young Investors Group model is. The second thing I would say is our systems. I cannot wait until our data systems are improved. We do a pretty good job with collecting the data, but that's part of funding.
Right.
That's really important to funding to be able to prove. I think me being in the trenches, as an executive director, it makes it hard on the organization because ultimately there's some top level things that I need to do, but because it's my heart, sometimes it's a challenge. Right. And one of those things is to be able to have 8 arms, to do everything. And so that's why I'm so grateful to the board, Young Investors Group board. I'm so grateful to our volunteers, our team that are putting in the work, because otherwise, we wouldn't be able to do the things that we're doing. So, and one of the areas that I'm looking forward to learning more about and figuring out is just incorporating AI and a lot of the tech into our process, so that many hands make the work light, but devices, softwares, and platforms can triple that.
Hey, AI got its place. You know what I'm saying? We use it on our podcast. We use it on promo and social media stuff, and it does. It runs. You know what I'm saying? Like if you go on our page, you see posts posting at certain times. It's not me. You know what I'm saying? That's the Zapier shit going on. So it got its place. It definitely has its place. You definitely got to take advantage of it. And again, like I said before, it's not going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? You get ahead of the curve now, take advantage of it, or start late in the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 5-10 years from now, trying to get into AI, and it's like, bro, that happened back then. You know what I'm saying? So
that was 2 weeks ago. It ain't like that no more.
Right. Late.
Yeah.
Hey Frank, getting 100 bodies into a different entry level to a job, bro, that sounds crazy feasible, don't it?
Yeah. It sounds hella feasible. It sounds like we could do more than that. 200-300. Because again, tech is growing. It's not going anywhere. You know what I mean?
Right. And
we're talking about a specific demographic. So when we're demographic that we're talking about is it's a little different. You gotta spend more money on mindset.
True.
But that don't change the barrier to entry, right? That don't stop because they think different or move different or behave differently. Yeah, you may have to change some habits, right? But again, that's still part of learning the systems, right? Learning tech, right? Because if you can sit down and focus on something for 3 to 4 hours at a time, right, you'll be fine. You'll forget all about the other stuff. I promise you.
I can't wait until you volunteer. Cause all this
I'm talking to you, bro. Let's go. Let's do something.
You know what, man? I'm always outside.
He was
out 3 or 4 hours. Who's sitting down for 3 or 4 hours? I sure as hell ain't sitting down.
I can attest to that. I know. I've seen Keyz. I see her working. She's not doing that. I promise you. I've seen it firsthand.
Yeah, y'all
you
lucky
trying to break
got
in the
me
tech
for this long. I need to check my email. I probably done got 12 emails since I've been on here. Oh, but you know what? I need to figure out is how to get this bread, how to get these donors. That's what I need to figure out.
I see you getting these grants. You filling these grants out. That's what's up.
I do a pull-up fundraiser. What's up?
Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm with it. But no, this is dope. You're doing hella crazy things. You're doing hella good things. You have a huge fucking heart. Excuse my language. And it's necessary. You know what I'm saying? So
how do you use fucking and heart in the same sentence?
I don't know. It's the New York. It's probably New York upbringing. I don't know. I say things like that. It just comes. You know what I'm saying? It was not scripted. But no, it's super dope. Where can people? All right, so here it is. What's your socials? Where can people get a hold of you if they want to donate, if they want to volunteer, if they want to become a board member? If you could talk about that. Let's get this expansion. What's going on? Where can they reach you?
Let's go. All right. So the first step is go to younginvestorsgroup.org. And that way you can learn all about what Young Investors has done and our mission statement, our vision statement. The other thing that you do is go to our social media, Young Investors Group. YIG. I know it's long. The kids tell me all the time, Miss K, our Instagram is too long. Young Investors Group, YIG is our Instagram. Young Investors Group is our Facebook. You can email me at Kezia, Kezia at younginvestorsgroup.org. You can donate to us through our website, but if you want to cash app us, it's Young Investors Group. Boom. $ Young Investors Group. Just like support our work. Follow us on Instagram. You'll get a chance to stay up to date on everything that's happening. We have a few events coming up. September 23rd, we have a karaoke fundraiser. We're excited. That's going to be in Town Center. You get a chance to donate money in order to sing the songs that you want to sing, and it's going to be a lot of fun on September 23rd.
Town. No, I'm just playing.
Really? Is that what we're gonna do? Make sure you rehearse that, okay?
No, I'm not singing that.
I'll pay $10 to see that.
Nah, it ain't gonna happen.
Look at her face.
Okay, and
We got
volunteers.
InvestaCon coming up. It's a
Okay.
youth and family investment conference, InvestaCon, with the illustrious Norfolk State University, the School of Business. They have, shout out to them for supporting us. We have one of our first sponsors, ADP. Shout out to ADP for being one of our first sponsors for InvestaCon. And that's really where we're going to be teaching families, parents, and children how to manage the assets that their parents are building for them. We're going to have a field day, financial field day. Well, it's called FinTech Field Day. So we'll need volunteers for that day. We also are working on a Friday night. We're going to call it a gala, but it's Friday night party with a purpose, where we're going to have Bellas and the Beard, where the guys and their ladies, or the guys and their daughters, or the sons and their mothers, they're going to enjoy a fashion expo that Friday night on December 1st. And then December 2nd is InvestaCon, all things investments in technology.
That's dope. There's a lot of stuff. That's a mouthful. Fire. That was a mouthful.
Yeah. That's a nice little clip.
That is definitely. And did you say you shout out the volunteers, and then are you looking for more board members? You want to put a bolo for that?
We have about 3 more spots left for board members. So we are looking for individuals that are passionate about the work that we're doing and understand how to identify resources. If your business or your organization or your industry is negatively impacted by Young Investors Group not being successful with getting young people on the pathway, then you need to be a board member to help us be successful. If your organization, your business, your industry is positively impacted by Young Investors Group being successful, you need to come on board and help us with the vision of moving forward and basically raising money, because that's really what our board members do. They raise the capital, because you can't, no money, no mission. You can't do nothing without that paper.
And I'm one of the new. Am I the newest or second to newest? I don't know.
Yes, you are the newest.
Let's go.
You the
newest member of the Rockefeller team.
Let's go. Where's my chain? I need a chain. Oh, I got a chain.
I know. See,
we should do YG chains. See, look, we old school. We old school.
Italian twine watch.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, we did. We got that. The funny thing is Tally and Twine. What they actually donated to us. Our first year, donated 15 watches to our young people, and that's what they used to do our first photo shoot.
That's dope.
With Keyz at Hampton Roads Helicopter. Shout out to Keyz. And shout out to Randy Williams with Tally and Twine. He donated to those young men, and it was such a joyous time. It was amazing.
Yeah, he was
Unify and Thrive.
He was our first guest on season 2, I think, right?
Yeah.
Okay. No, he's super dope. He was super dope. Yeah, we talked to him. But this is super dope.
James Allen for teaching James Allen, real estate broker, who taught the young people how to sell a home that first year. Super amazing. A lot of great support in the past.
No, that's great. I'm excited. I'm hella excited to be a part of this. Can't wait. I don't know about the karaoke though. I'll be honest. I don't know how that's gonna go. But
okay, can you rap? You said you're from New York.
I used to rap. Yes.
GP, are you with Kirk Franklin? It.
I have my own stuff. You're never gonna hear it, but yeah, I'm all right. I don't know. It's been a while. I ain't been in front of the mic in 10 years. Okay. Do a cover. Okay, I'll think about that.
All right,
but I'll be there.
Ready. It's gonna cost you though. It's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost an investment.
Thanks. All right.
You sound like an infomercial. Get her out of here, explain.
Thank you so much.
Don't play with me. Y'all don't understand where it came. Okay, you don't know where it came from. Pun intended. Make the investment today.
Facts. Do that. Hit her up. Donate. Become a volunteer. Become
the number about to scroll down the bottom of the screen.
Right. It's gonna be all type of stuff.
For your investment, you can, for every child.
Little black boy.
All right. Have a good night. Thank you so much for being us finally. You should have been here season 1, but thank you. Season 3, we'll take it. Thank you so much. We will catch you on the other side. And
Unify and Thrive, people.
All that.
All right. Thank you. Peace.